Hello, my name is Aden and welcome back to Aden's Universe. And today we are going to test out if a normal egg is going to sink or float in salt, tap, or distilled water, or if vinegar eggs will sink or float in tap, salt, and distilled water.
What?
So before we begin, I want to tell you what distilled water is. Distilled water is water that has undergone a process called distillation, where impurities are removed by boiling the water, collecting the steam, and then condensed back into a liquid. So now we're going to pour the distilled water in the container. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to test the normal egg if it sinks or floats in the tap water. What do you think? 3, 2, and 1. And it sinks! Wow. So now we are going to test the other normal egg in distilled water. All right. Wow. And it sinks again! So now we're gonna test the last normal egg in salt water, but first we need to put 1 cup of salt in the water, okay? Whoa! That looks cool. It looks cool in salt water. Wow. And look, it's showing up a little tiny rainbow. Okay, so now we're gonna stir it up and mix it up all around. Can you see the difference? How it's so foggy other than the tap and the distilled water? So my hypothesis is that I think the regular egg will sink in the salt water and I think that the vinegar egg will float in the salt water too. What do you think? 3, 2, 1. And it sinks. They all sink. What?
Aden, what do you observe that is a little different compared to the other waters? Do you observe anything different?
I do observe one thing.
What do you observe?
I know that the egg is floating up in the salt water, and all the other eggs are down. And there's still some more salt left. Whoa. It's almost like a fish. So now we're going to test the vinegar eggs in tap, salt, and distilled water if they sink or float. What do you think? These eggs, as you can see here, these eggs have been soaked for 3 days. And as you can see, you can almost see through them. So these are what the eggs look like after we took them out of the vinegar. And as you can see, the shell has totally disappeared. Very bouncy. All right, 3, 2, 1. Wow! And it bounced. And it sinks, too. Okay, so now we're going to test out if this other vinegar egg will sink or float in this distilled water. What do you think? 3, 2, 1. Wow! Really floats. It sinks. Okay, but now, so last but not least, we're going to test out this last vinegar egg in the salt water. And we're going to see if it sinks or floats. What do you think? 3, 2, and 1. And it floats! And an egg finally is the winner for floating. So now that the salt has dissolved, let's see if the normal egg will sink or float in the salt water. What do you think? 3, 2, 1. Oh, it just sinks. Wow, that's strange. What's strange is that the vinegar egg floats and the normal egg sinks. Wow.
But it's standing up a little bit, right?
Yes.
Versus the other ones weren't doing that, so it's floating a little bit. What if we added more salt to the water? Do you think that would make a difference? Let's add another cup.
so I'm gonna try that. So the more salt you add in the water, the more dense it gets. And as I added more salt in the water, I noticed that the vinegar egg floated all the way up to the top and that the normal egg was still at the bottom. So we're gonna set the bucket aside to see if the normal egg floats. But while we're waiting, we're gonna test out if the vinegar egg bounces.
Excellent.
Legend has it that if you soak an egg in vinegar, it will bounce. We've soaked 3 eggs in vinegar for 3 days, and this is what happened to it. As you can see, the shell has totally disappeared.
How does the egg feel? What does it feel like?
It feels a little bit squishy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It bounces! So now 10 minutes has passed by, so we're gonna see if the normal egg has floated in the salt water. And in truth, it did. So the reason why the egg is floating is because it has more density than the tap water. What is density, you may ask? Density is a word used to describe how much space an object or substance takes up. So the more salt we add in the water, the more space it takes up, which caused the eggs to float. Now let's explain how the eggshell disappeared in the vinegar. When you put eggs in vinegar, a reaction happens. That makes the shell break down. The vinegar is acidic, which means it can dissolve the hard shell, leaving behind only the squishy inside part of the egg. Okay guys, that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed my egg experiment. Get it? If you want to try it, you can ask your parents for permission. But if you like this video, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to link that bell, and we'll see you later. Bye!